Menteri ke kampo yang berim ke Jelau ba Robert G Lyngdoh hak si thok dieng ula ajimut yak sarkar Jela ba kadai ban penmna be yak Kyrteng Jong gitu ki boyo yok yang jingpang coronavirus kumju yak sinong ke bakiwan kenang man kan pensuk hak ba bud di yak brio ba kitei ki boyo yak kendo ute yu no mi khmat barem ulu ongru ba ka jing khliya banwat yak primary ba secondary contact dai ban weng no nakalengkor jong kena ka koi khya pat ban IT Beit hagi pai ba
social distancing, okay? It's not that I disregard the protocols that are there. Let's get that thing straight first. Now, panic comes from fear. And fear comes from ignorance or a lack of knowledge. And I feel that I think not very many people, especially in the rural areas, know what this pandemic is all about. That's why they fear doctors, that's why they fear nurses, that's why they fear strangers. I think a proper capacity building has to be done first so that the public in general know properly what the virus is, how it spreads, how long does it last in the body, all that should be properly taught to them. How can they protect themselves? What do they need to do to protect themselves? All that should be properly taught. Now, insofar as the recent days, I find that the fear comes because of the rise in the number of infected persons. Although the majority of the people who have come in or have been infected are people who have come from outside. That is the majority. In fact, I think that is about 99% or 100% you can say till now. I don't think we have any infection from the community as yet. And people are scared because they don't know what community infection is and what infection of returnees is. I think this has to be explained. And now, another strange thing that the government seems to be doing is they do not disclose the name and the place where the infected persons come from. Now, there are certain medical ethics that perhaps you should not disclose the name of victims. But in the case of a pandemic where the number of victims are large, it creates an abnormal situation. So the normal ethics will not, play a role in a pandemic. If the government has the logistical support to identify all the people who have come in contact with a particular COVID patient, then perhaps, it is okay. But when you have so many COVID patients and the number is growing, the capability, the ability of the government to follow on each and every patient becomes difficult. Here, perhaps it will make more sense if the government can name the patient and where the patient comes from, so that the public by themselves will know, oh, I have come in contact with that person. Oh, I have gone to that person's house. I have talked with that person's wife. I have talked. So either primary contact or secondary contact. Then it is their responsibility to get in touch with the health department, rather than the health department's responsibility to go and look for them. You understand? When the number of patients is small, it is easy to put the responsibility on the health department to go and look for the primary and secondary contacts. But when the number of patients are large, then to expect the health department with its limited resources to go out and find every primary and secondary contact is, I think, difficult. That's why at this point of time, it is important, as the number of infected persons grow, and we've seen, now we've already had that person from Samlem, we've had persons who were in Negrims. So it is important. It is important for the government to tell the name and the place where the patient comes from, so that then it becomes the public's responsibility to go and identify themselves to the department. You shift the responsibility from the department, the health department, to the public because of the limitations that the health department faces. I think that in a nutshell is what I want to say.